Evening everyone, I hope you're all well and thanks for joining in again and signing up for the live stream lesson. This is week 9 already, so this is all good. We're moving forward and hopefully lots of progress that's been made. As always, if you've got any questions about what we've done so far, please do pop them in the chat. Just fire away and I will answer them as and when they come through, or there hasn't been so far, but if there's a lot, then I'll save a few for the end. So today we are going to go back over a couple of exercises that we did last time. So the main ones we focused on last time were exercises 18 and 19, I think it was, yes. So we'll go back over those, but first of all we'll start off with a warm-up, which is our 6-note recap. But before all that, we'll just go over a couple of the housekeeping bits. So if you're watching, please, if you've got emails or something on your phone, social media, whatever, let's turn that all off. So we've got our dedicated half an hour again. And I think that's pretty much it, really. So let's start with checking our tuning. So I've probably said this before, but if you get the chance, please do try and check your tune before the live stream starts. So then when we go over it now, it's just a case of hopefully you're roughly in tune and not miles out or anything like that, because obviously that's not going to help things particularly. So here we go with our bottom E string. So have a listen, just tweak away as needed. I've checked mine, so I know this is in tune. So here we go, bottom E. And our 5th string, which is A. And then our 4th string, which is D. Okay, and then the 3rd string, which is G. And then our 2nd string, which is B. And then finally our top E string. Okay, jolly good. Now we also just need to think about posture. So I tend to sit with the guitar with my right leg, as I've explained before. It sort of just lines up better with the screen. But for any classical guitarists there, we want it over the left leg with the left foot raised. If you are sitting with the guitar like this over the right leg, if you find you're on your tiptoes, then that's a good idea just to raise that foot up a little bit, hence the footstool. But if you haven't got one, anything will do. So let's start off then with our 6-note recap. So as before, we're going to play it forwards and backwards, and I'm going to say the note names out loud. If you can do that, great. It all helps reinforce things. So we're going to do it once. You can have the book open, and we're going to do it a second time with a little gap in between. So I'll, just sort of say we finished. Shut the book, and let's try it again. See if you can play it without that. So here we go. After 4, 6-note recaps. This is page 15. So here we go. So 3, 4. G, A, B, C, D, E. And we're going to repeat it backwards. E, B, C. Okay, so let's try it again now. This time, shut your books and see how you go without. So after 4, so 3, 4. G, A, B, C, D, E, C, Good stuff. So there are 6 notes. They're the main notes that we've learned so far. So let's turn the page and move on. So the main exercise we were looking at last time was exercise 18. So obviously if you've got any questions, do fire away. The main thing about number 18 was we had our different time signature of 2-4. So again, we're sort of largely ignoring the lower number there, the 4, so we can sort of forget about that. So it's the top number that we're more interested in, and that's telling us we've got 2 beats in the bar. So what I'm going to do is play it once through to you. Feel free to join in. We've got the repeat mark actually, so as I come back round on the repeat, well no, actually I'll play the whole thing with the repeat, and then we'll play it again, and you can join in, or join in both times if you like. We just want to kind of, you know, get used to playing it, and hopefully it's all kind of making sense. So there's a shorter count in, obviously, because we've only got 2 beats in the bar, so it'll just be a 1, 2, and then we start, okay? So here we go, nice and slowly. Okay, so with the repeat, so after 2, okay, so 1, 2. Okay, good. So go and give yourself a pat on the back if that went well. We're going to try it again. I'll count the numbers as well, just to give you a feel of the timing as we work our way through. And if you can try and add in some of the dynamics, as I mentioned before, that's more of an icing on the cake thing. But if you're feeling confident, it's always good to practice. So here we go, after 2 again with the repeat. So 1, 2. Okay, good. I think I might have said there I was going to count along with it at the second time. I completely forgot to do that, so apologies about that. If you found you got lost with the timing, I'm pretty sure I did that last week, so just refer back to that video. But hopefully that was all good. So let's try number 19. I think this one's a little bit longer, so we'll just play this through once. So we're still in 2-4. At the end of the second line, we've got our repeat marks. So we're going to go back to the beginning, play the first 2 lines again. So the structure is line 1, line 2, line 1, line 2, and then we finish with line 3. So after 2 then, and yeah, I'll count at various stages as we work our way through. So here we go. So good luck everybody. So after 2, so 1, 2. Last line. 2, 2. Okay, good stuff. And as always, give yourself a pat on the back if it went well. Even if it didn't, well done. It's, you know, it's always good just to keep trying, and anything that didn't quite go according to plan, just go back, do a little bit more practice, and I'm absolutely sure you'll get there. So Right, the next thing, looking in the book then, there's just that little comment there about remembering that it's a good idea to try tapping or clapping the timing first, particularly if you find, like where we've got crotchets and quavers and a combination of different types of notes. Yeah, just clap the rhythm, and that can help sort of guide you through what's going on. So, but let's move on. So the next tune then is our first blues tune. So I mentioned this the other week. So probably some of you have heard of blues music before, some of you maybe not, but it's really, really common, and it's definitely one of, if not the most popular form of music on the guitar. So it has a very standard kind of structure, which I'm not going to go into too much detail now, but effectively it's sometimes called the 1-4-5 structure, and the numbers refer to the chords that relate to the parent scale of it. Now that might not mean a lot to you at the moment, but when you hear it, a blues tune, and this is a 12-bar blues, which is the most common kind of structure, it will just have a familiar sound to it. Like particularly, maybe less so for any children watching, you might not have heard that much blues music, but for anyone who's heard any blues, once you get the chords going and things, it's like, okay, yeah, I sort of feel like I've heard this before somewhere. So that's blues music. So looking at number 20, Annie's Blues, we have there's 13 bars in total, but what we're going to do is play the first 12 bars, then repeat them, and then we just have that final bar at the end. So there's crotchets and there's quavers to think about, and there's no minims or anything in there. We've got semibreve right at the end, just for that final note. So in terms of the timing, it's fairly steady. So we just got to give it a go. There's a little bit of jumping around, actually, I suppose. So for example, in the first bar, we're starting on that note A, which is our 3rd string 2nd fret. And then we've got to get over to that top E. So if you can, with your right hand, keep these fingers alternating, our walking fingers. And if you're going index, middle, then part of that sort of movement across the strings can be covered by using different fingers. If you're just using the same finger, you can still do it, but our technique is just not quite as good. So that's what we want to try and incorporate if we can. So I'll play it all through once. The first time, again, I'll say some of the notes, and on the repeat I'll count some of the timing, and just a kind of a combination really. This one obviously is a little bit longer, so we don't want to spend too much of our session today on it. So okay, so here we go. After 4, so again, feel free to join in as best you can, or just try and follow along, say the notes, anything you can think of that's going to help you make sense of what we're about to play. So here we go, after 4. So 3, 4. on our A for 4 beats. Okay, so what I'm going to do is bring the screen up, press play on the backing track so you can hear how that's going to sound, and I'll follow along with the cursor. So I hope you enjoy it, have a listen, and let me know what you think afterwards. So number 20, okay, here we go. Okay, good. So, hopefully you enjoyed that one. Good luck with it. It's a little bit longer, I think, than any of the tunes we've played so far. So, you know, that's another challenge in itself anyway. So, but we are going to move on. So, number 21, Glider. Now, this one is, the tempo is the same, really. So, it's not faster, except that nearly all our notes are quavers, so it's going to feel a little bit faster. So basically just good luck with it. Again, any feedback is really appreciated. You know, you might obviously not going to know at the moment, but maybe after a week of practice you might be like, this is great, this was fine, it was easy, or you might be like, no, that's too much, too fast, I couldn't keep up. So anything you can let me know like that is always appreciated. So okay, so looking at Glider then. So, in our first couple of bars, sort of the first note is E, and so we've got E and then another note, E and then another note, E and then another note. So, what I'm going to do is suggest you put your first finger on the C to begin with, and so I'm going to hold it down for the first 2 beats, so we can go E, C, E, C. So with our right hand, we're going to go middle finger, then index finger, middle finger, then index finger. Then we lift that one off and we can get to the E and the B. And then in the next bar, we put our finger on A and we're going to go E, A, E, A. Again, I just, for now, just keep going index and middle fingers on your right hand. And then G, A. Then it repeats, I think. So you've got... That's our first line. The second line is sort of the other way around. So our first note is G, and that one kind of is repeated quite frequently. So we're going to hold the C down for the first couple of beats, then go for D. This is bar 5 I'm referring to. So we go G, C, G, C, G, D, G, D, back to the C. And if you've been practicing with getting your finger right arched up here, then you should, even when you're holding this note here, be able to play that top E string. So in bar 6, where we're going G, C, G, C, E, C, we can keep this finger down for the whole bar, and that's going to help it just flow really nicely, rather than lifting off. You might find you get extra noises and things going on. So see if you can hold that finger down on the C, and when you go to play the E, if you get this kind of sound, that's just requiring just to bring that finger up on the fingertip. So I'll demonstrate. So you might be a bit like that, and you get that muted sound. So we just try and bring the fingertip up a little bit more like that, and get that clearance. So that's bar 6. Bar 7, same as bar 5, I think. And then bar 8, E, C, and A. You could put both fingers down on the C and the A at that point if you want to. That's a little bit more difficult, so give it a go. Think of that as like, that's your target, that's what we want to do ultimately. But if you find it a bit much at the moment, then don't worry, you can just go E, C, and A like that. Okay, then we come to the last line. I think it's pretty much the same as the first line. So we start with our E, C, E, C, E, B, E, B, E, A, G, A, and same kind of idea. Okay, so sorry about the little glitch there. I thought I misread it for a second there. So, okay, so that's the tune. So it looks difficult, or might look difficult. It might have a slightly busy kind of feel to it, but actually there is a fair amount of repetition in it. So see how you go. There's no repeat on this one. So I'm just going to play it through once. I'll say some of the notes here and there, and again maybe some of the timing as well as we go, and then we'll have a listen to how it sounds on the backing track. So feel free to have a go if you want, and we'll start again. So after 4, so 3, 4. E, C, E, C, E, B, E, B, E, A, G, A, E, C, E, C, E, B, E, B, E, A, G, A, G, C, G, C, G, D, G, D, G, C, G, C, E, C, rest. E, C, E, C, E, B, E, B, E, A, G, A. E, C, E, C, E, B, E, B, A, G, A, 2. Okay, so let me bring the music up on the screen again, and we will have a listen to the track. I hope you enjoy this one. So here we go. Okay, so good luck with that one, and we are going to move on. So let's turn the page. Obviously, if you've got any questions, do fire away. So looking at page 18, now we've got a couple of things on this page. So rather than going straight to exercise 22, I'd like to have a go at the A minor chords, because exercise 23 is actually going to be about practicing changing between E and A minor. So to give you a heads up, so you've got time to practice that ahead of next week, let's have a think about A minor. So before we do that, we're going to come back to the 2 chords we've learnt already. So the first being E minor. So E minor is the 5th string at the 2nd fret with the middle finger, and the 4th string at the 2nd fret with the 3rd finger or the ring finger, and then we strum all the strings, trying to make sure that open third string is nice and clear, and that's our E minor. To make it E major, we keep these two where they are, and we add this first finger to the third string at the first fret. So we played these two for a couple of weeks now, or a few weeks, so hopefully they're sounding sort of more or less as they should. So if we come back to our E major shape, to get to A minor, what we're going to do is move all our fingers one string to the floor. So same frets, so we're not going to come up this way. That'll give you a very different kind of sound, so we don't want that. So we're back to our E, and we just move everything one string across. And if we're looking at our diagram in the book, so if I just open the book up, you'll see here, do you see there's that cross there? Now that's telling us not to play that sixth string. These circles here are telling us open strings, and then these are the finger combinations we've got here. So to talk you through it, our first finger should be on the second string at the first fret. In fact, if I just come off that screen a second. So yeah, second string, first fret. Then our middle finger goes fourth string, second fret, and our third finger goes directly underneath it, third string, second. So we strum from the fifth string, so we're going to avoid our sixth string if we can. That's our target. Don't worry too much if you do catch it. It's not the end of the world. It just changes the colour of it ever so slightly. So that's A minor. So what you want to do is practice changing from E to A minor. So if you can, play E major like this. Think of your fingers as like a block, and almost like they're kind of glued together, and as you change to A minor, you just move that block across a string. So rather than going like one at a time, that kind of thing, or any combination like that, try and get used to just moving as a block. And for now, well, you can practice it how you like, to be perfectly honest. What I'd suggest is you practice going from E to A minor and back again, and just repeating that motion. Try and keep the fingers close to the fretboard. You don't want this kind of thing, if possible. So, yeah, just close to the fretboard. If you're feeling confident, you could try strumming sort of 4 times on each one, and then to the A minor, and back again. And basically, exercise 23 is largely going to be that. But changing chords, because you're moving several fingers at once, can often seem a little bit more challenging than, say some of the exercises we've been playing, when we're just doing that kind of thing, we're only really focusing on one finger at a time. So by moving several, it can be more difficult. So, but the beauty of it is E is always this shape, A minor is always this shape. So whether you've been playing guitar for like 9 weeks, as we are now, or whether you've been playing guitar for 20 years, if someone said play E followed by A minor, you would do that. There's other ways you could do it as well, but this would be probably your default way. So what I mean is that it might feel difficult at the moment, but once you've got it, it's sort of there for life kind of thing. So, okay, so I'd like you to have a go at that. And what we'll do is, well, do you know what? I think that's probably going to be a good place to finish up, actually. I was thinking maybe we'd have a go at number 22, but let's save that for next week, because we've done about half an hour now. So, just to recap then, what I would suggest as a bit of a warm-up is number 19. So that's Mountain Pass from page 16. That's really just a little bit of a scale with slightly more challenging timing than when you normally play a scale. We haven't done any scales, so that probably doesn't mean a lot to you. But anyway, it's a good recap of most of the notes we've played. Obviously, any of the exercises we played, if you found them difficult, then do go back over them. But otherwise, our main focus is going to be number 20, Annie's Blues, and 21, Glider. And then we also want to have a go at that A minor chord, and if you can, start practicing changing between E and A minor. And I think that's a good place for us to finish up. So, if you enjoyed the lesson, please do give it a thumbs up. Anything like that is always very helpful. And I will send around a link for the lesson next week. Next week actually is going to be the last one before Easter. because the one after that I think is the day before Good Friday, if I've got my dates right. So we'll do next week, then we'll have a couple of weeks off, and then we'll reconvene after Easter. So if you've got any questions, please do fire away, and otherwise I will be in touch with the link for next week, and we'll see how you all get on. So best of luck with the practice, and I will see you all soon. Okay, take care then. Bye bye.